Welcome back to the Retreat Diaries. I'm Ashley Hughes, Holistic Mindset and Wellness Coach, and this is week 5. We are 1 week away from the end of our 6-week journey, and I have to say, this week has been one of the most unexpected, most revealing, and the most confirming weeks of the entire experience. The title of this episode is Integration, and by the end, you'll understand exactly why. Let's get into it. But first, I have to tell you about Monday night, because it was genuinely one of the most entertaining and funniest evenings of the entire 6 weeks. Mondays is our team day off. So a few of us gathered in the apartment together to play the Traitors board game, which I bought for us. And I was the traitor. And I had every single one of them completely fooled. Not once was my name put forward to be banished. I even murdered myself at one point just to throw them off scent. And it worked brilliantly. If you haven't played this game yet, go and buy it right now. No joke. Get them before they get you. This week was my last chance to participate in some of the signature retreat offerings that I hadn't yet experienced. And the one that moved me the most was the fire pit ritual. We each went out onto the land and collected things we found: dead wood, twigs, fallen branches, and chose them to represent the things in our lives we are ready to let go of. We then gathered as a collective around the fire and one by one shared what we were releasing, then placed our offerings into the flames. We closed each release with 4 words: and so it is. And that phrase is more powerful than it sounds. It acts as an energetic seal, a signal to your subconscious and to the universe that the release is already complete. Already done, not in progress, finished. What did I let go of? Any lingering fear or self-doubt about being seen, about showing up. I've been really intentional this year about putting myself out there online, and even creating this series was a challenge. Choosing to stand in front of a camera and document this honestly wasn't easy to start with. So releasing that last layer of hesitation into the fire on this land, witnessed by others, felt significant. And so it is. The second part of the ritual involved finding a tree, plant, or place on the land that you personally felt connected to, and speaking with it. Inviting something new in. I chose a beautiful tree that had always caught my eye from the bath. And yes, I hugged it too. I spoke to it. Now, I know that might sound crazy, but stay with me, because there's actual science behind it. Tree hugging is rooted in ecotherapy and mindfulness, and it bridges ancient spiritual practice with modern biological research in a way that's genuinely fascinating. When you physically connect with a tree, a few things happen. Your nervous system shifts out of fight or flight into rest and digest, and studies show that mindful time with trees significantly reduces cortisol levels. Wrapping your arms around the tree trunk for at least 21 seconds triggers the release of oxytocin, the bonding hormone, the hormone of safety, warmth, and trust. And trees emit compounds called phytoncides, airborne antimicrobials, that when you inhale have been shown to boost your immune system's natural killer cell activity. So next time someone laughs at tree hugging, you can tell them the science. And psychologically, ritual itself is powerful. Your brain craves clear boundaries to process emotional endings. Watching something burn destroys the physical anchor. Speaking the words aloud destroys the mental attachment. And doing it witnessed by a group makes it real. Real talk for a moment. This week, I found myself feeling a little irritated by a few people. And I want to name that because this series is about the whole experience, not just the highlight reel. Living and working in a communal space with different personalities will always have its moments. It's human, it's normal. And after 20 years of shared living in various forms, I know how it goes. What helped? Reminding myself of everything this experience has given me. Recognizing I had one quality week left, sitting with the feelings, acknowledging them, and letting them go. That's the work. Not suppressing, not reacting, just noticing and releasing. This week's retreat group was all female and they were all wonderful. I was lucky enough to join both their opening and closing circles, and I connected with all of them in some way, shape, or form. There were two sisters, one deep into her spiritual practice and the other just beginning her journey. Two friends who had known each other for 42 years, but had never taken a trip like this together. Choosing to come here to honor their friendship and deepen their connection. A woman from Liverpool celebrating her 60th birthday with two of her soul sisters, booked by her thoughtful husband as a gift. And one beautiful, calm, gentle soul who came here entirely alone to her very first retreat, which I have so much respect for. Such a beautiful, layered group of women. Exactly the kind of human mix this land seems to attract. And now, the moment I've been building to. The thing that I genuinely did not see coming. One of the guests, a woman called Kerry, has a gift. She can see people's past lives, not through asking questions or gathering information, just through perception, through being in someone's presence. During the opening circle, while I was talking and introducing myself, she had a vision. She saw my past life in ancient Greece as an apprentice to an oracle. She asked if I'd ever been to Greece. Mykonos specifically came to her. I've never been to Greece, though I have been to Cyprus, which, while not a Greek island, shares a deep historical and cultural ties with ancient Greece. So maybe that's why I always felt such a sense of belonging there. Naturally, I had to go deeper. The most famous oracle in the ancient world was the oracle at Delphi, the Pythia, a priestess at the temple of Apollo on Mount Parnassus. But oracles existed across the whole of the ancient Greek world. And what they actually were is fascinating. They were intermediaries. The oracle didn't claim to have the answers. They were a channel between human experience and something deeper. The message came through them, not from them. They worked in altered states, trance, sacred ritual, fasting, with the specific intention of getting the ego out of the way so something more essential could speak. An apprentice's role would have been years of preparation, learning sacred ritual, understanding how to hold space for people in crisis, like kings, warriors, ordinary people, all coming to seek clarity on their most important decisions. And Delphi's most famous inscription? Know thyself. I actually made a reel about the exact phrase recently. Now, here's where it gets, as I said in my notes, almost uncomfortably precise. Now look at what I actually do. I channel my coaching, my content, plant medicine work, our morning rise and thrive sessions. These aren't me telling people what to think. I create conditions for people to access something within themselves. I help people break out of autopilot, which is exactly what someone went to Delphi for. To wake up from default living and get an honest read on their life. My podcast is literally called Question Everything. Oracles didn't give answers. They reframed questions. They sent people away with a deeper question than the one they arrived with. My 4 pillars: mind, body, soul, emotions. mirror the holistic integrated understanding that ancient mystery traditions were built on. This was never compartmentalized self-help. It was whole person transformation. Our community, our morning sessions, the rituals of return and reflection. Oracles operated within sacred containers with repeat cycles, held spaces. On my personal journey, sobriety, plant medicine, coming out, choosing conscious living. That's not background noise. That is the apprenticeship. You live it before you can guide others through it. Kerry also mentioned Mykonos specifically. And while Mykonos today is known for something rather different, its ancient identity is far more layered. It sits in the Cyclades, and it's just a short boat ride from Delos, one of the most sacred sites in the entire ancient Greek world, the birthplace of Apollo and Artemis. So sacred that people weren't even permitted to be born or die there, purely a place of the divine. The gateway to that sacred island. That's where this connection lives, which means only one thing. A pilgrimage to Mykonos is on the cards. Watch this space. What I'm taking into the final week is purpose. Meeting Kerry gave me something I didn't know I was looking for. An unexpected reassurance that the work I'm doing isn't just aligned with who I am. It goes much deeper. It's a connection I've carried across lifetimes. I've always felt like people came to me to find clarity, to be asked a question they were afraid to ask themselves. My inquisitive nature, my questioning of everything. That's not a personality quirk. That's the core of who I am, and perhaps who I've always been. This week's reflection. Take it somewhere quiet and really sit with it. What if the thing you've always felt drawn to isn't a coincidence, but actually a calling? 1 week left. I'll see you then for the final chapter. Take care of yourselves.